Hey there, Revit Nation. This is Chris with Valor BDC, and today I want to talk to you about a better carrier system. These are some carriers that I created for a project we were doing. They're Watts carriers, and I really like them. They're very versatile. They will automatically adjust the barrel so that you can put them on slope, and you can space them and adjust them so the slope will work through. And it also gives you, unlike other carriers that you get on the internet from manufacturers, we allow you to adjust the faceplates, the feet, and you can also, there's also a water pipe connection that doesn't come there. And everything's fully adjustable. You can flip the water from one side to the other, and you can adjust your faceplate elevations for handicap and standard water closets. And it's just, I can't tell you how cool they really are and how excited I am. If you want to find them, you can come over here. Go ahead and minimize this here and pull this in here and go to our website, valorbdc.com. And right now they're on the first page because I just uploaded them along with some other stuff. I got some Hilti sleeves and some a bypass feeder. And this site is just all the stuff that I've needed for projects that I couldn't find from manufacturers that actually work. If by the time you get here, if you're watching this video a year later, these carriers probably will not be on the front page. Just go to our families, and then you go to category carrier. And they'll be there. Like I said, right now, all I have is Watts. Zurn is in the hopper. I started working on them. Time's limited, so I don't know when I will get to finishing up or completing them. But when you click on them, they'll come in. The only thing I ask is if you download them, you use them, come back and leave me some feedback. I need reviews. Nobody seems to want to leave a review. If you leave a review, YouTube or Google will recognize that, and it'll throw my traffic, more traffic my way. So like I said, I've got these carriers. I have both of these here for a single, left, right, and a double. I also have a urinal carrier that's not on my website yet. I haven't uploaded it. But once I get that uploaded, then we'll also have a urinal carrier that's fully adjustable like the other one. The video will go over it. But yeah, come by, stop by, check me out, see what you can find. I'm sure there's a lot more other things on my site that's completely free for all these downloads. And let's jump into Revit and see how this goes. Okay, so now that we're in Revit, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. What I did was I have three of my water closet carriers here. It's actually two water closet carriers, one urinal carrier. And these are Watts. As I said before, the Zurn will be coming soon, and Jocelyn probably sometime after that. And what makes these unique is these give you the ability to change things on the fly, as you will see. So first thing I want to do is I'm just going to come in here. I'm just going to grab one, and I'm going to flip it around. It's not going to be orientated correctly, but that's okay because I can make it work. And I'll come over here and I'll grab this one here, and I'll flip it around. I'll just put it here. I'll put this one here, and I'll just drop them in randomly. The next thing I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to measure from the inside of the track to the stud, so that they're centered in the wall. And then what I'll do here is I'll pin this, and then I'll use the align tool, multiple, and then I'll come in here, I'll align this and I'll lock it. I'll align this one and I'll lock it, and then I'll align this one and I'll lock it. And then after that, I'll come in here and I'll go center them in the stall. So I'll click on this wall here, and I'll click on this one here, and I'll click on this one here. Never mind that it's still backwards. That's okay. We'll fix that in a second. And then we're going to remove those constraints. I think I got to remove this constraint before I can take care of it. So let's try this again. Now all of a sudden it doesn't want to move with it. Be equal, expand, error. Remove constraints. Let's try the next one. It's weird that that one will go, but this one won't. It's fine though. There's a way to work around it. Always a workaround, and we'll come in here. We'll move this one, and then we'll come in here. We'll set this one off the wall, 18 inches. And now this one here, we know. So let's go ahead and figure out how wide this stall is. 35 inches. So we'll just come in here. We'll grab this. And we'll grab this. And we'll say half of 35 inches is 17 and a half. That's probably why I did that. Let me try that one more time. There we go. So now I got all these lined up here. I don't need these extra dimensions cluttering up my. Delete them all. And as I said before, I wasn't too concerned about those facing the wrong way because I'll just say right hand drain. And now they're all facing the right way. So next thing I do is I come in here and then I'll open up the edit. Oh, before I do that, let's reveal the submittal. So I'll come in here, I'll get this submittal here. This is just an American standard toilet, nothing special here. Go ahead and grab this and move this over. And then I'll go and I'll step this up. So usually the engineer will give a designation, WC1, whatever. I'm like, I'm good with that. I'll call this WC-1. And then I'll come in here and I'll look at the bowl height. It says off finished floor, 5 1/4. Don't worry about the waist elevation. I usually set the first one at 5. But on the subsequent ones, you won't have to worry about because we're going to automatically use a calculation for it. Now the bowl's 15 inches up, and this is the water elevation. So typically the Sloan valves are 12 inches above. I usually go 11. I hate to be too long. I'd rather be too short than way too long. So I'll go in there and I'll just make this 20. The top of this is 15 inches plus 11. So that's going to end up to be 26 inches. And then this is the center line water adjustment for the Sloan valve. Usually your Sloan valve or your flush valve will sit up here. It's usually somewhere between 4 and 6 inches out. I usually line everything up directly off this, so when you prefab, you can put a support to your water. So this is 9-inch spread, 4.5. That's good. Now, this is your basic WC1. If we had a handicap one that required one, all I would do is just duplicate this. And then I would come in here and I would say HC. Get rid of that. And then if it's handicap, when you read this part right here, it says designed to meet ADA specifications, top of seat to be 17 to 19 inches. So all I got to do is just add 2 inches to this faceplate. Make it 7 1/4, and then you want to add 2 inches to your water supply. So instead of 2 foot, so instead of 26 inches, it'll be 28 inches. And then we're good. Let me check that other water supply there. Did I get that right? Yeah. Yeah, so we're good. There's no other adjustments. If it was a 3-inch barrel, you can adjust your weight, your waist diameter here. I also have a water adjustment in case they ever decide to go from 1 inch to 3/4. Water saving toilets, less water. Doubtful, but you can still adjust your water or your vent size. So we'll go here, okay. So we got both these here. Let me make sure both these are the same. Now they're going to be WC1s. And then I'll come over here and I'll click on this one. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to rename this one. We're going to call it WC-1. And the difference with the double bowl, the back-to-backs, instead of this is I have a left side and a right side. So if you ever want to have, a handicap on one side and standard on the other, you're fine because you can adjust your faceplates. All this left bowl adjustment here, it's just your faceplate elevation. So come in here, you'll say 5.25, and then you'll make this 5.25, and then that doesn't really matter because it's going to be a battery toilet. It's not a single, so we're going to use my calculation tool. And then over here for your water adjustment, it's going to be 26 for both. And then you can set your seat height. I didn't do it on the other ones. It's not important. Originally, the water was dependent on the seat height, but I discontinued that idea. So that really doesn't matter. It's got no bearing on anything. Your water distance from the center is 4.5 inches, so that's 1/2 9. And this one here, I didn't go over it with the other one, but this is how far your water line sticks out of the face of the wall, the framing. I usually do 8 inches, but you can do 6 and 6. And once again, you can adjust your barrel diameter. Now, we did this when we know we're going to have one handicap that's going to be a back-to-back. So I will duplicate, and I'll just come in here and I'll set this up. And then I'll just add 2 inches to this, 2 inches to this, 2 inches to this, 2 inches to this. And so now we got this, and this one's going to be the WC1H2. So if I were to come in here, and one of the things I want to do is make sure they're all pinned. I believe they all are not. So I'm going to pin these so they don't move. They're already aligned so they don't move together, but yeah, I like to pin them too. Let me just go ahead and get rid of these submittals. We don't need them no more. Oh, there's something I did want to go over with this. So let me go back to, say, this one here. Open this up. With watts, from the center of your faceplate down, you're allowed 0. So if your faceplate's at 5 1/4, like the toilet asks, I can set my first barrel at, well, the barrel's got to be below 5 1/4. So normally what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll set my first barrel about 1 inch low so that I can slope up through them all, because as you slope up, it's going to go. And this is something you're going to have to pay attention to and calculate. In order to get the formula to work to automatically elevate each water closet, I could not put a limiter for this like I limited other things. So this is something you really got to pay attention to. You got to make sure that your barrel is always underneath 5 foot or 5 1/4 inches for your standard ones and 7 1/4 for your handicaps. So we'll come over here and we'll grab this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to take this section that I've already cut. Let's make this Revit a little bigger. We're going to take this section here, zoom in a bit, place this bad boy right here, open it up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a baseline dimension from each one. So I'm going to DI for dimension, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take a baseline dimension from here to here, to here, to here. Now, this first one is the most important because you got to know where you're going to put this one. So usually 6 inches, you're going to have a 3/4 inch drop at an 1/8 inch from here to here. So I'll usually go like an inch down from the minimum. So if this is 5 1/4 here, I'm going to make my first barrel at 4 1/4. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go down here to here. I'm going to say 4 1/4. And I'm going to say this is sloping. So that does two things. This lowers the barrel to 4 1/4, theoretically. It should. Oh. I'm making a battery fixtures. It lowers it to 4 1/4, well, 4 5/8. And then I come down. That's wrong. Let me make this 4.25. And then uncheck this box. There we go. So now we're at 4 1/4. And this one here will be at 4 1/4 too. But when I go in here and I check 1/8 inch, now it's still at 4 1/4, but now it's sloping 1/8 inch. And then this is part of the battery fixture. This is the first one. So you'll come in here and you'll say this is 4 1/4. And it's part of the battery. It's 3 foot from the first fixture. So this is 3 foot from the first fixture. You can see how this automatically adjusted up. And if I was to draw a piece of pipe, cast iron waste to here, hit that bad boy there, it's going to delete the dimension. That's fine, but the pipe will come in at an 1/8 inch. Now, I go to the next one, and I say 1/8 inch. Battery fixtures, 6 feet away. And the first fixture on the battery, didn't like that, 6. And the first fixture is 4 1/4. So you can see it adjust. Now I can come in here and I can cut a dimension. Now it's 5 inches. And I can come in here, I can click here, I can hover over here, hit tab, and the pipe will automatically adjust. It'll delete the dimension. And then this one here. So this one here is still well below the center line of the fixture, still well below this. So this is not a handicap. There we go. So you can still see the center line is below, but it's almost right there. Or to come in here and get a dimension here. This pipe here, it's 5 inches. So we're still a 1/4 inch below. I have to click here and then come over here. You see we're a 1/4 inch below the center line. We can't be any higher. The handicaps, we can go a little higher. So these are both handicap. And the distance here is 9 foot 1/2 inch. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slope the barrel. Then we're going to go in here and we're going to say from the first fixture it's 9 foot. 9 foot. And we'll come over here and we'll say 1/2 inch. And then the first fixture on the line is 4 1/4, the elevation. And then you hit that. That adjust. Come in here. Hit tab. And it didn't work out right. Let's see what we got. Oh, battery fixture. There we go. So now we come in here, we hit tab, and our pipe is at 1/8 inch. This pipe's at 1/8 inch. This pipe's at 1/8 inch. So what I do now is, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a vent. And so what I'll do here is I'll come back over here and I'll center myself here. And I'm going to draw a 2-inch vent. We're going to change the routing preference to be vent. And we're going to say it's 2 inch. We're going to say it's going to start down here at about 48 inches off the ground. We're going to center it. Here we're going to draw it. We're going to make sure it's sloping down. It doesn't have to be long. Change this to vent. And the reason why I did it that way is so I can come off here now, and I'm going to click on the vent outlet right here. Automatically, since I drew these with my cast iron routing preference, we're going to change the vent. If you're using fabrication fittings, you won't get the couplings. You have to put those in automatically, but the pipe will go in on slope, just like the way I drew it. And then what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll trim and extend. And then I'll go here. And I'll draw here, make sure I'm sloping down. And then I'll click on this. And I'll draw another piece. And I'll go up. And I'll use my trim and extend. Click here. PI for pipe. Go down. There, come here. Come up. I'm still in cast iron vent. TR. And then here. PI. Come up. TR. So now we have our entire run here done. So you have your vent and everything else. Your sanitaries here. One thing I didn't do was add a drainage pipe here. So you can slope down, make sure you're sloping down. Come down here. You can, oh, it's just going to tell you that it's deleting it. My bad. Damn it. Hate it when I do that. Natural reaction to cancel, delete dimension. Trim extend. Come in here. Make sure you have sanitary T as your junction. And so you're good there. So now we have all of our waste sketched in here. If you want, you can take this and you can just send it up. Like that. They convert to placeholder. There we go. So now we have vent system, we have sanitary system. We want water now, right? Go back here. PI for pipe. And then change this to ProPress. And then change this to domestic water. And then we'll just make it 3 feet off the ground. And then I'll just draw one long piece of pipe down here. So now what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll grab this. I'll click here, and like the vent, it's going to throw in the last preference I used. So I'll just use copper press, 1 inch. You can probably just be easier to do it that way. And then come in here and then tab over. And all of a sudden, you now have a working water closet. You can try this in this view here. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, gotta make sure you turn the slope off. Yeah, obviously that didn't work out. Drawing in 3D and Revit sucks. So we'll just go back to plan view. We'll click here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go PI for pipe, 1 inch, copper press. Click here. Select these. Come here. Tab till I get to single line. And then I'll come here. PI again. Pipe. tab till I get the single line, PI, tab till I get the single line, PI, tab till I get the single line. Obviously something didn't work out. We'll go back here, PI, and say here, here. And then tab till I get the single line. Now this one here, when you look at your water supply, your handle's going to be facing towards the wall. Code says your handle's got to face the other way for your handicap toilets. So since this is the one on the right, because when you're standing behind the barrel looking, you got right and left. So you just go here, you just click this button here, and it'll move your water supply to the other side. PI. Just like the zigzag, get about level with that one there. So they all come off the piping the same. You can try to use the align command. I guess I don't really have a reference plane, but you can use the top of that nut to align. So now when you go in here, and you look at this in 3D, we have an entire carrier system set up. We have the water and stuff. I believe this all is on slope because I forgot to change that. So let's see how Revit's going to handle that. If it's actually going to zero all the slope out, it should because it's elbows. So yeah, that'll handle that well. One thing I didn't go over was the carriers for the urinals. So you had single plate, double plate. Same thing as with the adjustments. You can come in here, you can flip these things around. You can center them on your urinals here if you want. We'll just put this one off to the side. And then you can use the alignment. I usually take the toe here and put it right there. And then I move it back about 1/4 of an inch. Just to make sure I got enough room. And then I come in here and I grab this one. And then I align this with this toilet, this urinal. And then there. And these are just like the other ones. I'm not going to go through and set them up. But you can set a waste elevation, you can set your water elevations, you can do all that. And then out of the back, you can pipe out of the waste. Just click here. And then you can pipe out of the waste. I don't want to go through and set up and waste your time because it's just like the other ones. So here you got a complete plumbing system done up. Now, one of the things that I like that Revit doesn't do well, let's move this more towards the center here. One of the things Revit doesn't do well is copy things up. If you've ever copied up groups of pipe, it starts to skew things and everything else. So what I like to do is I'll come in here and I'll just grab all this and I'll group it. Yeah, a lot of people say don't ever use groups. Now groups are good, you just use them in moderation. So what I do is I'll go in there and I'll call it a carrier group. And then go to your view. Now you can take this carrier group and you can copy it up. Yeah, sure. Something's there. And then you can copy this up again. For every floor. And then you just come in here, you click each one, and now you ungroup it. You still have the group down here, model group, carrier group. So you still got your group, and then you can come in here and you can say PI. Go from the top to make sure you got the right size. No, wrong system. My bad. And then PI again. Let's get the right system here. See if we can avoid that top. And if you had a water riser, you connect your water riser. But when you look at this here, now all of a sudden your slope's not computed. You can do the same thing with the vent. Obviously, you probably end up making this a 3-inch vent. Come down. Probably take this and move that up. And then you get the idea. So now all of a sudden you have an entire group of fixtures. And I did this in just under a few minutes. I'm not sure how far I've gone. 30 minutes maybe? So we drew everything in 30 minutes and we have all that. One of the things that I wanted to say is if you wanted to, you could come in here and you could select all this. You could hide your water pipe. Get a filter. See if a water pipe filter in here. There we go. You can hide your domestic cold water. Maybe not, so we'll just do this. So I didn't set up any filters yet. We'll just hide this here. And then if you drew this with like regular Revit families, you can just come in here and select this. And then you can go design to fabrication, no hub. Click here. Bam. All of a sudden, your fabrication's all done. The only thing you'll have to do is come in here and shorten your pipe, and you will have to add your fittings, your couplings, because it will not automatically populate the couplings. But you can just go in here, you can disconnect these. It's going to move well. So if you work with fabrication parts and you've never ventured into using Revit families, this would be a good part for you to learn to do that. And you'll find the power of families versus fabrication parts. Fabrication parts in Access are much easier to run, but you can see that families work very nice too inside of Revit. So with this, I'd like to say farewell, and when I see you next time, hopefully we're talking about some of my Hilti sleeves or some of my layout fixtures that work out that I owe you guys videos for. So have a good one. Goodbye.